Hello there, friends. Today we are going to discuss 11 different CJ Stroud rookie cards. These are all coming from the 2023 Panini Prizm set, card number 339. Obviously, different variations of these as well. So this is going to be pretty cool. I put together 15 recent comps, all done through eBay, and I plugged them into my custom offer sheet generator. And these are the important numbers that came out. So we're going to discuss average winning bid. We'll discuss fair market value, seller take home, 70, 75, and 80% offers. I'll also let you know what I would sticker these cards at. So hopefully this helps you understand what your cards are valued at or what the cards you are targeting are valued at as well. So a lot of information to go through. We'll cover this first one first. So this is the base set card. We'll take just a few extra minutes going over this one so you know what all the numbers mean. And then everything else we'll just kind of blow through and get you some quick numbers, okay? So let's get started. On the right-hand side, we have our 15 recent comps. These are all, again, taken through eBay. All of these happen to have happened in the very same day because it is a base set card, number 333. Again, we had a low of $16.50, a high of $32. That's a 93.94% swing. That is a perfect number for me. I like to see anywhere between a 50 and a 100% swing within a card because that usually means I can get it at that 80% price offer or less, more likely closer to that 75 or even lower percentage. So that's why it's important for me to take a look at. That's sort of a first filter for me to decide upon looking for a card. Next up, we do have our PSA submissions right here. 6,019 have been submitted. 2,834 have come back perfect. That's a 47% rate of return. That's relatively consistent, I would say, with what we've been seeing with a lot of Prizms out there, both basketball and football. 50% right around there is usually what we're seeing come back perfect. Average winning bid, we've got $27.58. That's here in the blue. That does not take into consideration that sellers have fees. So I like to take that 13 to 15% right off the top, and you get this orange number here. This is seller take home, $23.62. I personally would consider this to be fair market value given this set of comps. So $23.62 is what the card is worth, but I like to get in a little bit lower. That's where these green, yellow, and red numbers come into play. Green's a 70% offer, yellow's a 75% offer, 80% offer in the red. So first offer, $19.30. Second offer, $20.68. Final offer, $22.06. I also like to make sure I'm getting into the bottom third of sales, which is really important if I'm looking to turn a card around. So bottom third of sales is $22.26 or less. So that means I'm still maxing out at $22.06. If this number had been lower, say, let's call it $21, I would have then switched it up to being $21 as my max offer. So top third is where I sticker at $27.46 or above. Again, I'm not afraid to sticker with cents. Ooh, sorry. That was a sneeze. All right. Anyways, I'm back. We had a bit of a sneeze there. Anyway, so $27.46 is where I would sticker. I'm not afraid to sticker at cents because that shows that I've done my research and it tells people I think I know what I'm talking about, and that's what I really want. It gives me a little bit more leverage when I'm selling my cards. Speaking of selling and buying your cards, if you do choose to use these numbers, I recommend, especially when it comes to buying, that you use these numbers in person because this is a raw set card, and I want to make sure that you're getting the best card possible. So that means you got to be able to see the card. You got to be able to see it in hand, and that's really the only time I would encourage you to potentially use these numbers for your own purposes. Next up, we've got the CJ Stroud black and white checker. This card is sweet, that's for sure. $715 is the low on these comps. $1,400 is the high, a 95.8% swing. Obviously, right within that sweet spot. Obviously, we're talking a bit of a higher profile card here. $1,016.94 is going to be your average winning bid. That is a nice chunk of change. $881 would be the seller take home on average. $711 would be my first offer, and then we do see a bottom third at $745.75. Again, when this comes in lower than the 80%, that's when I use the bottom third number as my max offer. This one happens to actually fall between that 70 and 75% range. So that would be my max offer. 745 is where I'm sticking on this card. I would sticker it personally if I had it in my collection at 975.84. Next up, the Orange Disco. Always have been one of my favorites in the set. I just think it's a cool looking card. Right now, we've got an 87% swing, so that's checking off a nice little box there. 166 average win, seller take home 143. First offer 116, bottom third at 125. That's slightly above the 75% offer, so 125 is my new final, and 156.28 is where I would sticker. Green. This one obviously very popular for obvious reasons, but there's a lot of them out there right now. So I actually got all of these within less than a week's range. Well, right at a week's range. So low of 112.50, high of 192.50, 71.11% swing on this one, and a 55% rate of return for a PSA 10, interestingly enough, much higher than that base set card. So interesting card to target for those reasons. 151 is going to be average winning bid. 130 is going to be seller take home. First offer at 105. Bottom third falls at 112.91, so we'll call that 113, and that falls right below that 75% offer. So 113 is my max offer. I would sticker at 151.51 if I wanted to sell it. The Green Wave. I hate this card. I hate all the waves of every version. I'm not a huge fan of them. I think they look old. I don't think they have staying power, but that's just me. That's all guessing right now, right? But not my favorite. On this one, we do have 104.55% swing, so lots of people looking for a perfect card, which makes sense to me because it's hard to really tell if it's a perfect card through pictures with this one, just because of the way that wave reacts. 65% though rate of return on this means people really are getting a nice return for a PSA 10. Average winning bid 170. Seller take home 147. First offer at 119 and 129.82 falls just above that 75% offer. That is my max offer, stickering at 172.77 for this card. Obviously, if I found a good deal on this card, I'd have to buy it. So not that I hate it that much, but for me, this is not a card that's staying in my collection. I would turn and burn it as fast as possible. Prizm Lazer. We got another orange again. This one's not actually as high on average, as the Disco. Looks like on average winning bid, we're about $8 short of the Disco, but still a very cool looking card. 120 is your low, a high of 193, a swing of 61%. That's a sweet percentage right there. That's perfect for me. PSA return rate of 58%. 158 is average winning bid. 137 is seller take home. First offer at 111, and final offer changes to this bottom 1/3 number of 123 just because it's between 75 and 80%. Stickering for me personally, asking at 152.37. Another cool looking card. This one I like way better than the Wave. It still has kind of that fun effect to it, but I don't think it washes it out nearly as much as the Wave does. So that's why I'm much more intrigued by this style than the Wave. We also have 130 as a low, a high of 217. Again, a perfect 67% rate, a swing on this card. 46, though, is going to be your rate of return. That's one of the lowest yet for this card. 177 average winning bid, 153 seller take home, 123 is first offer. Final offer comes in just below that red 80% offer. So 141.27 is where I'm willing to go up to because of that bottom third taking over, and stickering at 164.53. I'd have to get a really good deal on this card in order to do that because we are so close to that 80% offer. That these numbers being so close probably pushes me down a little bit lower, closer to that yellow if I have an opportunity. Okay. Next up, we've got the Pandora. Ooh, look at that secret sauce on this Pandora, I think this is again is another cool looking card. Has sort of a scaled effect to it. We're seeing 455 is going to be your low, 760 is your high, 67% swing. Again, that's a pretty common theme for this card. Nice little trend upwards as well, as you can see on the graph. 639, 27 average winning bid, 554 is seller take home, 447 is first offer, and looks like the bottom third lines up outside of that 80% offer, so we're going to stand strong at 511 at 80% as a final offer, and stickering at 628.64. We've got the pink Prizm. Okay, pink Prizm. This one I'm surprised wasn't higher. Honestly, I mean it's right in that disco range, so I guess that makes sense. But it's a cool looking card, especially with how vibrant it looks. I think it's a pretty, in person, it's even more vibrant than this. 117 is your low, 231 is the high, 97% swing, and 170 average winning bid. 147 take home, that's your fair market value. 119 at a first offer, 129 is your bottom third, and that becomes the final offer as it is below that 80%. Stickering personally at 162.36. Got two more left. This one, ooh, so pretty. I love this card. This card has so much appeal for me. Not that I'm all red, white, and blue all the time. But there's just such a huge demand for this card. I was actually surprised we're at an average winning bid of below $150. This is just one of those cards that's always going to pique some people's interest, and that's why I like to have it in my collection. We've got a swing at 68 with a low of 118 and a high 199. Again, 146 average bid. 126 is fair market value. First offer 102, and looks like a bottom third at 112 becomes our final offer. That's right below that 80% as well. Stickering at 131 even, it looks like, on this card. And last but not least, we've got La Creme de la Creme. This is that card that, yes, it's not going to be as expensive as some of the other options that we've seen, but this is one of those cards that will always have demand, it feels like. There's a lot of them out there. I have noticed that. We did see that there's quite a few out there with the Wembies as well, if you're looking into basketball. So supply's there. It's just demand is always pretty consistent as of late. So 280 is your low, a high 449, 60% swing, 359 average winning bid, 311 is seller take home and fair market, 251 is your first offer, and looks like 285.98 is your bottom third, which comes in just below that 80%, making it our final, and we're going to sticker at 317.21. So there you have it. There's my price guide comp sheet for all 11 of these CJ Stroud rookie cards. A bit of a longer video. Thank you for staying with me here. Hopefully all of these numbers help you out. If they do, let me know. Also, I am pondering, a very important question, I'm pondering putting together potentially a Patreon where I would host all of this information that you see, all of this information that you see here as well on the Patreon, so that people have access to just sort of the rough numbers and can easily swing through it without having to look through a video. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, starting a Patreon and joining up. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Take care, my friends.